Hey guys, I'm going to be doing the memory verse today, and it's found in 1 Corinthians 11:1. Follow my example, just as I have followed the example of Christ. 1 Corinthians 11:1. And we'll do it again just to make sure we have it memorized. Okay, ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Follow my example, just as I have followed the example of Christ. It's found in 1 Corinthians 11:1. And I just wanted to say that I'm praying for you, and you guys are always in my thoughts, and I hope to see you soon.
Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Yeah, hello kids. Today's Bible lesson is Disciples Make Disciples. But first, we're going to jump into performing a science experiment. That's right, it's Mr. Ken's Science Lab. Oh, anyways, this is a lab where there are no rats. At least I hope there are none. Check, make sure, but no rats, I hope not. There are just cool things that happen here. In this lab, many great discoveries have been made. For instance, check this out. Kids, do you know what happens if you leave a dirty dish in the sink for any length of time? Well, it grows mold. Oh. Ooh. Yep, proven right here in this very lab. You know, I can't tell you how many life-shattering discoveries were made right here in this very lab. Nevertheless, let's continue on with today's other great discoveries. Okay, now you guys can do this one with me, but please get an adult to help you. Do not try this one alone. First thing, we're gonna need some items. First off, scissors. Don't run with these. 2 glasses, a measuring cup and a regular glass. If you don't have a measuring cup, you can use a regular cup and some tape. Next, some food coloring, and then some twine, and some water. Step 1, get yourself some twine of about a foot and a half, and tie it around the handle of the cup, like so. Put the liquid in the cup. Add some food coloring. This is just to help you see the effect better. Soak the string in the liquid. Get it nice and wet. Once you got it saturated, give it a squeeze. Then we pull the string out into the other glass. And then we slowly lift up the glass, keeping the string nice and tight. And then we slowly pour. Look at that. The liquid flows right down the string. That's amazing. All right, you know what? Let's stop right here just for a moment. Sorry about that, kids. I had a little cleaning up to do. Now you may be asking yourself, why am I doing the science experiment in the middle of the Bible lesson called Disciples Make Disciples? Well, I'll tell you. When you decide to follow Jesus and take the time to become more like Jesus through the Bible, through prayer, watching Kids Church online right now, everything that's in you, the life Jesus gave you, just flows down that lifeline and into the others around you. It just can't help but flow down that lifeline because it was set up that way, just like this experiment. Now, here's how this experiment works, kids, so you can, better understand it. There is a certain way this cup has to be tilted for it to work, right? Just like there's a certain way we must live our lives and be filled with Christ, that who we make as disciples just flows out of us and into others. Now, there's a whole science process called cohesion, which means coming together to unite as a whole. Because the string is already wet, it has a lot of water molecules stuck to it. And because you are already filled with Jesus, you have a whole lot of Jesus stuck to you. Now, as you tip the water over, it finds the water molecules and it sticks to them all the way down the string. So as you follow Jesus and Jesus to pour out of you the Spirit of God, which is the string, and Jesus is the water, the message of life itself, this life-giving molecules flows right down and into the glass, into all the others around you. Boom! Once again, proof in the pudding. Well, maybe not pudding, but really this is just red water string. Never mind, you know. Well, there you have it. Science lab proving important and once in a while not so important things like mold on dishes. And I hate doing the dishes. Kids, you are disciples of Christ. Just be like Jesus. Now it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, follow my example, just as I follow the example of Christ. Kids, remember, the point of the lesson is disciples make disciples. So all you little disciples out there listening today, I challenge you, go and make disciples. So until next time, this is Mr. Ken's Science Lab saying, see you later.
Hi friends, I'm Alyssa.
And I am Mike, and we are 100% ready to go. Let's do it.
No, Mike. Aren't you forgetting something?
No, I know all the dance moves, and I'm ready to party, everybody, from the front to back.
Guess what time it is? Do you know? It's time to connect to God together by singing and moving to music. Even though sometimes I may not feel like dancing or singing, it's not about how I feel. God deserves all of our worship all the time. He deserves our best. He deserves all of our thanks. So get up and let's connect to God together.
Everybody, everywhere, all around the world. Listen up right now because I got something to say and it will be heard. I made up my mind, not afraid to show. That's right, gonna leave the past behind. Gonna let the whole world know I am who God says I am. Let me tell you now. I am who God says I am. I am forgiven. I am a winner. I have been chosen. Jesus, I am yours. Jesus, I am yours. Forever. Jesus, I am yours. Forever. I am. Jesus, I am yours. I belong to the one who saved me. I belong to the one who gave his life. So I will take my place. I will stand and say, Jesus, I am yours. I am who God says I am. I am who God says I am. Let's go. I am who God says I am. 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 I am forgiven. I am a winner. I have been chosen. Jesus, I am yours. Jesus, I am yours. I belong to
Well, howdy, partner.
Oh, hey.
Mike, come on.
What?
Are we not going to talk about your hat?
Oh, my super sweet cowboy hat? Nah, this is nothing new. I wear it all the time.
I've known you for a while. This is the first I've seen of this hat.
Okay, well, I heard from a reliable source that everybody's wearing them.
Can't be everybody. I'm not wearing one.
Hey, Mike, were you making that? Oh, hey, Doc.
Oh, brother. Yippee-ki-yay, yikes.
We are Connect HQ.
Every day we help the people of the world.
Live God's way.
We look for the links.
Make the connection.
And you never know what might happen. My name is Dot, and this is how we learn to make more disciples. Okay, even the guys downstairs are wearing cowboy hats. What's going on around here?
That's awesome. People are actually following my example.
But you're not wearing a cowboy hat.
No, but I told people that are listening to my podcast to wear them.
What on earth is a podcast?
Okay, it's the coolest thing. It's like my own personal talk show.
So you watch it?
No, it's like a radio talk show. People listen to it. I talk into this microphone for 2 hours about whatever I want and then upload it to the internet.
2 hours?
Yeah, I thought that was a long time too, but I guess people need something to listen to while they're folding clothes or doing the dishes.
Check it out. I took Alyssa's advice.
That's the name of my podcast, Alyssa's Advice.
I like to listen to it while I'm clipping my toenails. I can't wait to hear what you recommend next. Can I get a little preview?
Let's just say I've got a full list of things.
Why are you suddenly listening to everything Alyssa says to do?
Because she seems like she knows what she's talking about. I mean, she talks about it for 2 hours.
This will give us something to do while you wait for next instruction. It's a message from our field office in Montana.
Hey, Connect HQ, it's Field Officer Seth here in Bozeman. Now, my good friend Stella here has got a question that needs your expertise. So, Stella, why don't you tell them what you told me?
I love going to church. I always invite my friend to church, but she always says no. What am I doing wrong?
Well, we've got some ideas over here, but I wanted to see what sort of links you could find over there. And hey, thanks for your help.
Aw, poor Stella. It's not her fault her friend says no.
Some people just don't want to go to church, and some people have a really good reason why they can't.
Making disciples isn't always easy or fun. But I bet we can find some links to help encourage Stella to keep sharing her love for church.
For starters, she should get a hat like this one. It'll help her feel more confident.
Yeehaw.
As you know, my dear podcast listeners, I try to keep you up to date with everything you should be wearing, what you should be listening to, and now, what you should be saying.
It's all very exciting.
I have Rodney here from our Skip Vision group to go over the words that everyone is saying these days. Rodney, do you want to go over the first word?
Absolutely. Our first word is dunny.
So I use this word whenever I'm close to finishing something, as in this podcast is almost dunny.
Our second word, jumbo.
It means tremendous or significantly great. That's so jumbo.
Our third word, and this is an interesting one, blizzitant.
So that means being selfish or all wrapped up in yourself. Like, why are you being so blizzitant?
This is great. I can use all of these new words in so many situations.
Thanks. You heard it here first on Alyssa's Advice.
You gonna wear that thing the whole time?
Of course. Helps me think. Help me come up with this.
That's not a Bible ink. That's a picture of a horse.
I think we should get one to ride to work.
Good luck. I've been down that road and it ends in disappointment. I was thinking we'd use this story about Peter and John to encourage Stella.
Let's check it out.
This is the story about the God who loves us in the Bible. We find truth and purpose to love God and love others. We're searching God's word This book is alive.
Peter and John were going to the temple one afternoon to pray when they saw a man who had never been able to walk in his whole life. Each day, the man sat at the temple gate begging people for money.
Can you spare any money for a poor man who can't walk?
I don't have any silver or gold for you, but I have something even better. In the name of Jesus Christ, get up and walk.
Peter helped the man stand up. As he did, the man's feet and ankles were instantly healed. The man began walking, leaping, and praising God. When the people saw this, they were amazed.
People of Israel, why are you so surprised? And why are you staring at us as though we did this all by ourselves?
God did this so that everyone can know the power of his Son, Jesus.
Many people believed what Peter and John said, and they decided to become followers of Jesus too. Some Jewish leaders became bothered by Peter and John's teaching. They arrested Peter and John and had them put in jail until morning. The next day, they brought Peter and John to a large group of the men who ruled the whole kingdom. Even the high priest was there.
By what power or in whose name did you heal that man?
Rulers and elders of our people, are you holding us captive and asking us these questions because we've healed a crippled man? Do you want to know how he was healed? Let me be clear. The powerful name of Jesus healed this man. You crucified Jesus, but God raised him from the dead. Believing in Jesus and following him is the only way to be saved. There is no other way.
The rulers were amazed by Peter and John's boldness. They knew Peter and John had been with Jesus, and since everyone could see with their own eyes that the man who couldn't walk was now healed, there was nothing they could do. Still, they tried to find a way to stop Peter and John.
Fine, we will let you go, but you aren't allowed to ever speak or teach about Jesus ever again.
But Peter and John refused.
Do you think God wants us to obey you rather than him? No way.
We cannot stop telling about everything we have seen and heard.
The council tried to scare Peter and John into staying quiet about Jesus, but it didn't work. Finally, they let Peter and John go. They couldn't punish them without making the crowd angry. After all, everyone was praising God for healing a man who had never been able to walk.
Peter and John didn't lose their excitement about Jesus, even when people threatened them.
I really like this story. It starts with a miracle that only God could do. And it shows that God's power is what grabs people's attention.
They made disciples by sharing what they knew and praying for those who wouldn't listen.
This will show Stella that she can trust God's power and his timing.
Hey, are you guys almost done in here?
I think so.
Jumbo.
Do what now?
That's totally Jumbo.
Do you need to sit down, Rodney?
Well, I need to use the space, but I didn't want to be blizzitant about it.
I think he suffered a head injury. Call a medic.
Cool words.
Words? Sounds like a cry for help.
Alyssa said them on her podcast. Everybody's saying them.
Teach me.
Hey Doc, can you let me know when you're done with the computer? I have a new podcast I want to upload.
Yeah. I heard Rodney trying out a bunch of new words.
That's Jumbo. It's great having so many followers.
I think it's so cool that people are so inspired by what you have to say. You're impacting a lot of people, at least around here.
Yeah, the amount of listeners started out small, but it's growing quickly.
Just like Jesus started with 12 disciples before he went worldwide.
This is just a podcast. I'm not trying to be Jesus.
But you're making disciples. People listen to what you're excited about, and then they'll tell their friends, and then they'll tell their friends, and pretty soon everyone is wearing cowboy hats just because you said so.
I guess you're right. I wasn't really thinking about who I was leading. I was just talking about stuff that I liked.
People are following your example. It's kind of like this verse link I found for our friend Stella. It's from the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 1. We can say it like this.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 11, 1.
1 Corinthians 11, 1.
Follow my example.
Follow my example.
Just as I follow the example of Christ.
Just as I follow the example of Christ.
Stella has a friend who always says no when she invites her to church. This first link will show her if we live like Jesus, it might help other people want to follow him too.
Our friends are watching and listening to us. Setting a good example could help other followers of Jesus learn to be better disciples too. We can sharpen each other.
You get it. I don't need to tell you this stuff. You're already good at telling people about Jesus.
I don't know. Lately, I've just been so blizzitant.
I have no idea what that means.
So, why are we re-recording this episode? I thought the last one we did was totes jumbo.
It was. It's just, I was talking to Dot and I realized I've been leaving out something really important in these podcast episodes.
Is it advice about snack foods? Because I'd really love to know what you think about snack foods.
No. I didn't realize how many people I was influencing with Alyssa's advice. My advice. I don't only want to lead people to cool hats or hip words. I want people to hear about my friendship with God when they listen to me.
I like that. Taking it to the next level.
I want the people listening to learn about Jesus and know him. Jesus helps his disciples make more disciples.
That's good. Jesus helps his disciples make more disciples. You could totally use that in the podcast.
Exactly. So, what do you say we re-record this episode? Same thing, except with an emphasis on discipleship.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, and by the way, the whole thing with that snack food, have you heard about making s'mores except with a chocolate graham cracker?
No. Tell me all about it.
Well, I mean, that was basically it.
What's wrong, Mike? Your head a little itchy?
Nope, not at all.
You wish you could take it off, don't you?
Nope. It's comfortable and stylish, not itchy at all.
Did you guys find all the links you needed for your field office call?
Almost. We just need a point link.
I uploaded one that I think might work for your friend Stella.
Great. Would you like to help me make the connection transmission?
I'd love to.
Loving this hat.
I actually just found out that cowboy hats are out.
Finally!
So basically what I learned is don't ever try to ride a moose. Doesn't really work. Oh, hey, look. It looks like Connect HQ is ready with their connection transmission. Let's see what answer they found for you.
Hi, Stella. My name is Dot.
And I'm Alyssa.
We found an answer for your great question. The Bible tells us this in the book of 1 Corinthians. Say it with us like this.
1 Corinthians 11:1. Follow my example, just as I follow the example of Christ.
When we say Christ, we mean Jesus.
And when you follow his example, it can teach the people around you how to be disciples. Peter and John couldn't stop sharing their excitement for Jesus. Sometimes you might feel this way too.
Like how it's so exciting being a disciple of Jesus that you want other people to be disciples too.
If people don't listen or tell you to stop, keep living as a great example and trust that God can do miracles.
Your good example and God's power might be the only thing that gets their attention. Think about who you follow. Is it Jesus' example or someone else's?
And think about who you lead. Whether or not you know it, people are watching what you do. They listen to what you say and see if you really do follow what Jesus teaches.
Remember, God's power is the only way for you to make disciples. You can't force them to go to church or yell at them.
God uses your life, your example, and the choices you make to impact the people around you.
It's not always fun or easy to make disciples. If you invite your friend to church and they say no, you can still set a great example for them.
It's not your fault if someone doesn't want to follow Jesus. Just continue to pray for them and trust God's power to work in their life.
You can't do it with just a good example. You need Jesus. Jesus helps his disciples make more disciples. Thanks for the great question, Stella. And remember, Connect HQ is here to help you.
Thanks, Connect HQ.
I'm thinking of starting my own podcast called Thoughts with Dot. Or maybe Dotcast. Or maybe just talking Dot with Dot. How about Dot's Thoughts? Lots of Dot's Thoughts with tater tots. I have a question. Do you follow Jesus' example? What other people say you do? Maybe you do, or maybe you don't because you don't follow Jesus. If you've never made the decision to follow Jesus and his example, you can start today. All you have to remember are the ABCs. A. Admit. Admit that you've done wrong and ask God to forgive you for disobeying him. B. Believe. Believe God sent Jesus to take the punishment for your sin. Trust that you are forgiven because Jesus made you right with God. C. Choose. Choose to spend your whole life depending on God's power to help you say no to sin. As you live and love like Jesus, tell others God is your leader and number one friend. If you want to make that choice today, be sure to talk about it with your Connect small group leader before you leave.
Thanks for watching Kids Tips. See you next week. Jesus loves you. Bye.
The fight is on. I'll hold my ground. I'm gonna crash the lies of the enemy. I won't back down, 'cause I'm not alone. With you, my God, I'll conquer anything. In you I have the victory, victory. You're the undefeated. I know that you're the risen King, risen King. You're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. The fight is on. I'll hold my ground. I'm gonna crash the lies of the